Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the little bell. Ring that little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. And it is the summer. Summer's here. And the time is right for dancing in the street. I don't think so. I don't think that we're going to be... I think this summer's going to be pretty miserable, quite frankly. I think it's going to be okay here in Israel, but who knows? Who knows or dares to dream? Anyway, summer's... Actually, it won't be okay in Israel. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you exactly why. I record these in the morning, so this is a fresh memory. I went to synagogue, was about 3 hours ago, as I do every morning. And I had the Rona, I think, last week. I don't have my tests are clear now, but, I went to synagogue and I'm like, really trying to suppress coughing, right? It used to be. If you farted in synagogue, you'll cough to cover it up. Now, if you cough, you need a fart to cover it up because people are a bit on edge, right? So I've noticed there's a few sniffles and coughs going on in synagogue. At the same time, I've seen a return of a lot more masks, right? We don't have any mask mandate anymore. You don't need to wear them inside. And look, I don't want to get anybody sick, but at the same time, I don't trust anybody about anything. And if I do what these guidelines say, I do what the guidelines say. Okay, but I'm certainly noticing. People who wear masks when there's no mandate to. Generally speaking, a little bit evangelical about the old Rona stuff. So when I cough in synagogue, I'm always like, oh God, no. I get these stares like, oh, what are you disease, typhoid Mary doing here? So other than that, well, I think it should be a good summer. But the thing about summer is no one's watching. It's like I noticed a week ago. Or 11 days ago. It's the 11th, 2 weeks ago, right? About 2 weeks ago. That all of a sudden, my channel the growth just imploded. It went, right down a hell of a lot. And the views, got cut in half. I was like, what the hell's going on? So I assumed that YouTube was throttling my channel, which, is a fair assumption. But now I kind of realize it's the summer algorithm, right? They turn on the summer algorithm. So for some reason, I get less people on it, which means I don't feel such an obligation to do, big news stories and things like that. I can just do stuff which I find interesting. Don't do that in synagogue, right? I can just do stuff that I find generally quite interesting and a bit weird. Normally about Doctor Who, right? Last year during the summer, I did a big deep dive on all the Doctor Who's that never were. I did a video on the Dark Dimension, on the Piers Bronson movies from the 90s that never from the 90s that never were. I love doing that stuff, right? I love doing that stuff. So I saw this article. I was like, well, that's weird. What's going on there? From the Daily Telegraph. Now, the Daily Telegraph is the paper that my parents had growing up, which kind of believes in authority and education and the institutions of government, but don't trust them. Right? That's essentially. So it's a weird. It's not like the Times, right? They look up to the Times and they look down to the Mirror, right? So that's where it is in the cultural zeitgeist. So there's a long article, right? A long article singing the praises of Blink, which, don't get me wrong, I freaking love Blink. I think it's one of the greatest episodes ever done. It really, I think, that season, was it season 2? Was really if you're looking at the Hinchcliffe Robert Holmes run, right? Where you're in a real golden age. So I think that's where it came from. But it's written from a normie's point of view, and I'm always intrigued at other people's point of views. Why are you writing about this? So we're going to read through this article. We're going to see if they come up with any interesting point. Again, looking at things from a different, one of the not we point of views. You're going to get a different perspective. And also, I just kind of like talking about Doctor Who. Fine, share, subscribe, especially during the lean summer months. Share, and subscribe. That would be Fandammy double dozy, Fandammy triple dozy. I'm very, very good, especially sharing. They love the sharing nowadays. Sharing is caring, baby. Comment, that's also somewhat helpful. I don't know. Probably is helpful. Sign up to my Substack, which is in the email notes below. Do I have what I'm giving away there on my desk? No, I do not. I have to find it. This is an old version of it. So I'm going to be giving I have a paid Substack and I have a free one. On the free one, I'm giving away legacy comic books, I think I'm going to put out one of the Blake Seven strips on the Blake Seven comic today. But on the pay sub site, which is $5 a month, I'm going to be giving out my digital copies, obviously, of Biblical. Bible stories of atheists, creationists, rationalists, rogues. This is a lengthy trade paperback graphic novel that I wrote. I wrote and draw, and you can kind of see me learn how to do comics in it. Right, it was my first like really major work. Which I'm like very proud of. And so that's going to be going out. I'm going to be sending out at least 3 issues this month for that, and anything else. I feel really bad for the paid subscribers who have like really supported me. And last couple of months, it's just been like I've had disaster after freaking disaster in my life. My computer blowing up and all kinds of things. So I just haven't been able to take care of that. But I think I nearly said it yesterday. It came close, right? It came close. But like, thank God. There are many things, that been slowing me up. I had the Rona. I think I was wiped out for the last week. I know I'm better now because I'm super productive yesterday. I was doing a ton of stuff, and I love doing a ton of stuff. So hopefully that's going to be done. So it's in the video notes. If you ever see my videos not appear on this channel, that means I've been banned, right? I've been banned. And if you sign up my Substack, the free one, you get to find out where I am. I have a Rumble channel, and I have an alternative channel, over here on YouTube. Listen, wouldn't it be great if Elon Musk buys Twitter and then puts like a video YouTube kind of platform in, partners with Rumble, right? So they integrate into each other. Oh, if we all just move over to Rumble, that will make my life so much better. Hey, let me just move the camera. Look, there you go. You see a little bit my shelf there. We go a little bit further. You can see the door. You can see the action figures. But over here, that's the way I like it. There you go. Very nice. Fine. Let's look at this article. Which it's just so weird. Like, it's so weird and so random. But I guess interest in Doctor Who is back, right? People can smell Jodie Whittaker leaving. And look, Jodie Whittaker, Doctor Who, people talked about it out of obligation. Well, nobody really liked it. I mean, listen, if you're somebody who liked it, God bless you. You're great. Listen, I lived through the Colin Baker years in the 80s, and I enjoyed watching Doctor Who, but you know what it wasn't good for? It wasn't exactly a lady magnet in school, right? It wasn't going, oh, you like Doctor Who? Tell me more, right? Yeah, no, I was a pariah because I liked it. It's like, what do you like that for? I said, I just like it. What do you want out, mate? And also, Nicola Bryant is running around, jiggling around in spandex. I don't see what the problem is. Still, Attack of the Cybermen, very seared on my memory. Oh my gosh, I just realised we're just over a week away from season 22 being released. Oh, I'm doing a deep dive on that set. Oh, I mean, like, I'm excited already because it was a time of my life when I had somewhat adult awakenings. Again. Thank you, Nicola. I probably had that. Actually, my first adult awakening would have been Blake Seven with Jacqueline Pierce and Paul Darrow, right? When you got this weird S&M thing going on, and please go watch Blake Seven. It's so kind of blatantly S&M-y, right? And I didn't know. I was young, right? I was like 11 or probably younger. And I was like, I don't really understand what's going on, but I quite like it. I quite like it, and I would like to know more. And then Nicola Bryant arrived. I'm like, yes, tell me more about that. But I digress. Let's talk about I should do a series of videos, the Rabbi's horniest moments, but it will go on forever, right? Everything always devolves into that. Anyway, I digress. Let's look at Blink. In the Telegraph. This is from what day? June 9th. So I got this on the way back machine. You have to go for a paywall to buy it. Listen, schmuckos in the newspaper industries. This is what you need to do. Charge me whatever it will cost to buy that day's edition. If it's 10p or 50p, I will pay it, right? To access this guy. I am not buying a subscription to your piece of shit, okay? Leave me alone. I will go to Wayback Machine and I will find it there. If you want me to pay for it, have it so I can pay for it in a reasonable manner without having to remember to cancel. God, it's always the kiss of death that when you got to remember to cancel. In the 90s, They had the I remember because I was up in the middle of the night feeding my babies. Like that's when I actually got sleep apnea at that time. I didn't know, but I was up in like 2 in the morning, like feeding the baby, and I put TV on. Right, I'm doing it, and it's always it was always Girls Gone Wild videos. Right, that's what was always like I would see the ads for. Right, in the entertainment expert. Girls gone. They were going wild. Okay. The trick is if you get one of those videos, watch it backwards, and then the girls are putting the clothes back on, and you feel like they're getting to a good place in life. So it's more uplifting. Anyway, I digress. So they were Howard Stern would talk about this all the time, and they would always have the ads on around the Howard Stern show on the TV show, right? And it was an open secret that they would know if you were stupid enough to subscribe to these videos, they would never unsubscribe you, right? They would and like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna go to back and say, oh yeah, can you contact the Big Jizz firm, please, to tell them that I don't want any more Girls Gone Wild videos? No, people but me like, okay, $15 a month, just leave me alone. I don't want to hear anything, right? Or how much it was. So yeah, I don't like the subscription model. I don't like the full subscription model. So newspapers piss off. Anyway. Blink and you're dead. Inside Doctor Who's most terrifying episode. Is it the most terrifying episode? Yeah, it's certainly up there, isn't it? I mean, the Weeping Angels in general are scary. I mean, that's why they willed them out for the Jodie Whittaker era, even though they... Great cliffhanger, right? Doctor turning into a Weeping Angel, and then, like, all cliffhangers just pissed away, right? But generally speaking, the Weeping Angels... really good scary villain, right? And what makes a great scary villain is something that you see in contemporary life, like a crack in the wall. Or in the first episode, Rose, you had Mickey eaten by a wheelie bin, and Rusty Davis said he did that specifically because he knew kids will see the wheelie bins come out on Mondays, right? After they go, oh, imagine that. I just love that he was able to put himself in a position of somebody watching and enjoying Doctor Who, right? And that's how I think we actually get good stuff out of him. 15 years ago, writer Stephen Moffat devised a game of Grandma's Footsteps that still has viewers weeping to this day. Yeah, it's a real classic idea. Listen, your life could depend on this. Don't blink. Blink and you're dead. They are fast. Faster than you can believe. Don't turn your back. Don't look away. Don't blink. Good luck. Fantastic, right? Even after reading that, I'm going, oh, this is really David Tennant totally at his best. By the way, a good David Tennant, if we're talking about Weeping Angels, I'm going to record the review of this next, is Out of Time 3, Wink, which is a Weeping Angel story with David Tennant on audio with Colin Baker. Frickin' awesome, right? I think the best of the 3 of the Out of Time episodes. Even though the first one was better because they had Tom Baker in it. When we were talking in terms of script, that script is really excellent. Lisa McMullen, standout star, breakout star from Big Finish. She's a must-buy for me now. It's 15 years since arguably the best ever Doctor Who story, certainly the best since the 2005 reboot was broadcast on BBC One. So Blink, how's a Blink? I like the. If we're talking about scary, horrific episodes, I think the one I always found most disturbing was Deadly Assassin. Right, I like. There's a lot in that I found disturbing, which I really like. Also, Midnight. Oh, that's a scary story, but that's much more cerebral. Blink was tucked away towards the end of the series. The end of the series, the 10th Doctor's episode was in a 13-part run, airing at 7:10. See, this is why I like Normies talking about it. These are details I don't remember, right? Airing at 7:10 on Saturday, June 9th, 2007. It was watched by 6.6 million viewers in the UK. A success by today's standards, but at the time, it was the year's lowest rated episode. So far, unpromising. Really? I mean, 6.6. I mean, they get the live rating they get is like 1.2. So yeah, but they have so much shenanigans with the iPlayer. It's silly. So far, so unpromising. Yet, this deeply creepy slice of sci-fi horror would receive unanimous critical acclaim, win a raft of awards, put a future Hollywood A-lister on the map, and introduce the scariest Doctor. I wouldn't call Carey Mulligan an A-lister. No, Tom Cruise is an A-lister. Gal Gadot is an A-lister. Chris Pratt is an A-lister. No one's going to a movie because it's opening with Carey Mulligan. Is anybody else in it? No, the one with what's his name? Spider-Man. That was a Dalek one. Fine. Oh, what's his name? It doesn't really matter. And introduce the scariest Doctor Who monsters of the modern era. I do agree. I do. Yeah, they are the scariest of the modern era. Pretty good for a story only created to solve a production problem. Yes, I really strongly believe that overcoming problems is the way to make fantastic TV. When you have a problem, you need to overcome it. That's when you get the best TV, which is why I think these like Marvel movies, these TV shows that they just throw unlimited money at to solve any problem are boring. Oh, that's one of the reasons why they're boring and bland, right? You know, bit of inventiveness is always good. Where is it? Blink was written by Stephen Moffat, the ex-teacher from Paisley. I didn't know he was a teacher who will go on to become the Doctor Who showrunner and create Sherlock. It was a bit of a good time for him, I would say. Although I tell you, Sherlock and Doctor Who, they did indeed fight each other, right, for attention. And my favourite episode of Sherlock was the last one, where they're on the prison island, and he's got this sister, and breaks out. And it's really lots of really clever stuff. It was obviously, it should have been a Doctor Who story, right? With the sister being Missy, and you know, that seems to be what it should have been. Where are we? He's surprised it's been 15 years. Bloody hell, where's the time going? I say the same. But believe Blink has endured better than many Doctor Who stories. It's the kind of episode that holds up well, says Moffat. It's unexpectedly got a film star in it. Yeah, okay, she's a film star, not an A-lister. In which doesn't half help. Yeah, I mean, she is excellent in it. I mean, everyone was clamoring to get a job on Doctor Who at that time, and now she wouldn't look down at it. Obviously, Carey Mulligan became famous after Blink. Not as a consequence, I might add. Just afterwards, it's fairly timeless setting, and no major special effects can. Because those can date quite badly. Yes, I do agree. So that's one of the reasons why I like the updated special effects, especially in Ark in Space. Because I feel the special effects, and they're not great, the updated ones, the CGI ones, but I feel the original ones just detract you from the story. I understand a lot of people want to see those original effects to fill the story. So one of the reasons why I feel the Big Finish Star Cops didn't do very well, because they said, we just cannot use the theme tune. We just can't do it. You know, it won't be easy. And I get it. The theme tune is a bit crap, right? Still, it kind of needed it. And also the first season, Mother Earth wasn't very good. First box set missed out Pal Kenzie, and so you basically had Nathan Spring, Brian Calder, and what's his name? I can't remember his name. Always played like the heavy characters. Was in was it Revelation of the Daleks? And Singing Detective, for that matter. Anyway, can't remember his name. But it was basically just those two, and they didn't recast any of the roles. They didn't recast the Rue, and it just didn't feel like Star Cop. Second one, Mars, that felt very Star Cop-y, right? If you like Star Cops, I recommend those 2 box sets. That was a decent season. I think I think they should just put them on download on a lot cheaper, quite frankly. So far, it began life as a short story written by Moffat in the 2006 Doctor Who annual entitled "What I Did in My Christmas Holiday" by Sally Sparrow. Styled as a homework essay from a 12-year-old Sally, it sees her encounter evidence of the Ninth Doctor's presence while visiting her aunt's house in Devon, but there were no weeping angels. Yeah, but you can really see the underpinnings of the episode, right? And oftentimes when you put the monster in there, the monster becomes, just takes over everything, right? You forget what the actual episode is. Which is exactly why I think in Doctor Who Flux they had monster-heavy episodes. The Sontaran episode was horrendously written, right? Just like most of the Chibnall Whittaker era. horrendously written. But the Sontarans look good, and you had a couple of good, surprise moments, like when shot beautifully. The cinematography was lovely, like the Doctor going to the TARDIS across the battlefield. Again, the cinematography absolutely gorgeous on those episodes, and the cold opening of having the Sontaran army instead of the Russian army, and you see them all on horseback. That was great, but the reason you put them in because it detracts on the plot. So the same is true here, and it detracts from the plot of Blink, but in a bad way, because you don't see how great that plotting is. Like, that writing is just so clever. And again, I unsolicited recommendation for Wink. Really freaking enjoyed that. Where was I? Moffat got the idea from an infamous monster when he, from a statue he spotted while on a family holiday. I saw this chained up cemetery with an unsafe structure sign on the gate. I peered through and saw an angel statue with its face plunged into its hands. I thought, well, that's creepy. Many years later, we were back at the same hotel. I looked at, so I took my son Josh to the graveyard to show him the original Weeping Angel, but it wasn't there. Ooh. The ingenious twist he added was these alien assassins turn to stone when anyone looks at them. Left unobserved, they stalk you at terrifying speed before zapping you decades in the past with a touch. But I mean, honestly, I think the Weeping Angels got a lot scarier with when he brought them back for Matt Smith's first season. I like those two episodes, Flesh and Stone, and was it Time? I can't remember what the other episode was called. Freaking perfect episodes of Doctor Who. Absolutely adore those episodes. But the bit where you have the Weeping Angels like talking on the radio, just being cruel, right? I love that. I mean, that was so freaking scary. I love that. Moffat also inspired by the playground game Grandma's Footsteps, which he always found frightening, right? Good nose there, Stephen. He originally planned to use them in the following series. However, his workload on BBC stablemate Jekyll caused him to withdraw from writing that year's two-part Dalek story. Oh, man! So that would have been Daleks in Manhattan. Who ended up writing that? Rusty Davis? Yeah, Rusty Davis ended up writing it. Look, listen, I like Daleks in Manhattan. I like a lot about it. I would have loved to see the two-part Moffat Dalek story. That would be crazy, right? That would be fan-freaking-tastic. Again, I would just like to hear what it was. But I said at the beginning of the video, I like the things that were never made, right? I find them interesting. Where is it? So he following series, he pretty had to use them in the following series. However, after his workload for Jekyll, he withdrew writing that year's two-part Dalek story. He made amends by volunteering to script a Dr. Light episode to ease a hectic shooting schedule. Okay. And a brilliant conceit too. This is probably one of the best Dr. Light episodes. The 10th Doctor, David Tennant, and companion Martha Freeman Adjaman were deliberately given minimal screen time, allowing them to shoot another episode at the same time. A TV industry trick known as double banking. I suggested doing something with my Sally Sparrow story, Moffat explains. Looking at it again, I thought it was good but needed some monsters. We can't do a good Doctor. We can't do without the Doctor and the monsters. So I bought the Weeping Angels and pumped it up a bit. You pumped you up. Yeah, you pumped it up a lot, mate. It was awesome. The episode found the Doctor and Martha stranded in 1969, sending messages to a woman in present day, Sally Sparrow, an intrepid 20-something photographer. Yeah, they aged her up from the 12-year-old. The time travelers pleaded with her to prevent the Weeping Angels from seizing control of the TARDIS. It was a star-making turn from Mulligan. Yeah, just 21 at the time of filming. She probably invested the part with a great deal more than there was there, Martha said modestly. No, I think it was a well-written part. You are unbelievably lucky to have somebody who was a heart away from being a film star, just about to go stellar. You know, she's not that huge. I mean, like, again, I God bless her, but I think what's her name? Can't remember anybody's bloody name this morning. Amy Pond. She's a bigger star. Totally, she's a bigger star, right? Shit. They should have got to headline the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. We're unbelievably lucky to have someone who helped be a Rainbow Star. Showrunner Rusty Davis duly offered up the chance to stay on as a full-time companion. I don't know, but she declined. 2 years later, she was an Oscar nominated for An Education. She was smart to decline. It was clearly not the career path she wanted. So she would have been instead of Donna. Oh well, I'm kind of glad that we got Donna. So he would have. So the character that was going to be Donna was Penny, right? So Penny is in the Donna's first episode, but I don't see Carey Mulligan really playing that. I thought she was great. He also thought that what's his name, Brother Mine from Family of Blood, a fantastic actor. Was very, very Doctor worthy. Yeah, he's a great actor. The script did, however, coin a catchphrase when the Doctor explained, people assume that it's a strict progression of cause and effect. At times, it's a strict progression of cause and effect, but actually, from a non-linear, non-subjective viewpoint, it's more like a big ball of wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey stuff. Wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey has been used to describe Moffat more tricksy plots. And I love the way that he described it, right? He said, look, Doctor is like a multi-dimensional alien being of super intelligence. So when he's like, when he's saying like push the button or a big red button to open the door, everything he says is dumbed down and translated for 20th century humans to be able to comprehend. So wibbly wobbly timey wimey is as good as pretty much anything else. I hate catchphrases, but I keep inventing them. Moffat chuckles wryly. It's a form of self-harm. Moffat felt relatively relaxed about writing the script because if it flopped, he could play the Doctor-like format. They should do that with the Jodie Whittaker era. They should just, she's not in it. It's always better when she's not in it, right? It really is. I figured the pressure was off because I was writing the unpopular one without the Doctor in it. He grins. Yeah, and I see that's probably what gave you the creative freedom to make this magic. Due to the tight timing, Blink only had one script meeting, but it proved to be a vital one. The episode's working title was Sally Sparrow and the Weaking Angels, until Davis asked Moffat to list alternatives, one of which was Blink. Which he gave me a brilliant note, which was, "Oh, I love Blink. I've been thinking about it all day. Blink, blink, blink." He's so Rusty Davis, but really go for it. You use the word blink over and over in the script. Make it like an old movie trailer. That was when I added the Doctor's "blink and you're dead" speech. He's very good. He's very good at Rusty Davis. Yes, he is. Right, and that's one of the speeches that really, really work. Right, fantastic. The Weeping Angels themselves were realized. Again, I had to just make it aside. I'm enjoying having this more relaxed video, right? When I'm just geeking out about Doctor Who because I like Doctor Who, right? The Weeping Angels themselves were realized by prosthetic designer Neil Gorton, now CEO of Millennium FX. I think he was at the time as well, wasn't he? I don't know. It was a bit of a last-minute addition to schedule, he recalls. The art department didn't have a budget to build a dozen statues in different poses. The visual effects were too complex to do digitally. I remember producer Phil Coulson saying, well, we can't have people painted as statues. That's going to look ridiculous. But I stuck up my hand and convinced them that we could. We only had 2 weeks, so we had to go hell for leather. Again, when you hit a brick wall and you got to think your way around it, that's where magic happens, right? It genuinely is where magic happens. Gorton's team dressed local performers in from Cardiff in a mixture of prosthetic costumes, face masks, body art, and makeup. The bottom half was sculpted from stiff rubber. Yes, I did actually say "ooh" when I said the word stiff rubber. Again, I have no control over this. Under the skirt, really, there's more of it. Okay, fine. Under the skirt, they had on a bicycle seat. I did not know that. On a pole. Okay. a shooting stick kind of affair. So they could stand up completely still on top. The top was a calico coated hardened resin. The arms and necks were arm, necks, and hands were actually the performers. Wax so they were completely hair free. Oh my god, there's a lot of work. Then painted. The mask gave the face and the eyes. They were covered with a little plastic shells from this blank stone look, and it looks fantastic, right? Absolutely fantastic. It took 3 hours each morning to get them ready, but it's worth it. Yeah, it totally was worth it. The lightness was so good last school, and it was one of the runners went up to a real statue, assuming it was a performer, and asked if they wanted lunch. Yeah, yeah. Again, I love inventiveness, and this is what I'm excited about the new Doctor Who, right? Because it's on a roll, right? When you have inertia, right? And I think we have the inertia of the current era, which is like a ball rolling down a hill into mud and shit. It's just like getting worse and worse and worse, and the ratings getting lower and lower and lower. Where, as I have to tell you, I think the quality is still unwatchable. I find that totally unwatchable. I think the quality is absolutely risen from their first. Yeah, and the quality is the inverse of the ratings. The ratings, I mean, the quality is sort of like this. Well, no, just a bit more slight, but sort of like this. While the ratings are like, yeah, like that, right? Which is a bit of a shame, but again, they're still unwatchable. The 45-minute masterpiece was directed by Hetty MacDonald, who more recently directed 6 episodes of Normal People, never heard of it, making a Doctor Who's first female director for 20... I was going to say, no, she's not. You had Fiona Cumming then for 22 years. That does... Okay, 22 years, that doesn't really count, all right? You're not going to count 89 to 2005. That's... what was it 16 years? Okay, first female director for 6 years. It doesn't sound so crazy. Davis said that the McDonald's work meant Blink included some of the most beautiful visuals we ever had. I don't really remember that, but I'm not disputing it. The action unfolded in a crumbling manner called West Drummond's described Moffat as the creepiest house I've ever seen. Oh, okay. The episode isn't just creepy; it's genuinely scary. I agree, but it also set up how scary the sequel was. The sequel episodes were with Matt Smith. I mean, the bit in the second episode where Amy has to have her eyes closed and you're fumbling around and you see the weeping angels start to move. That's one of the best scares ever in Doctor Who. I mean, it really is. Love it. Where are we up to? Viewers were glued to the screens. They probably didn't blink much either. I agree. That's partly down to the chillingly relatable conceit of a statue come to life. We all have everyday fears, says Moffat. People might be frightened of the dark, or piles of clothes that look like monsters, or tree shadows in the moonlight. That's really what Doctor Who is about. Sure, we can have huge spaceships as well. But at its purest and most primal, it's a kindly uncle or aunt taking you aside and explaining that the shadows in the cupboard aren't that scary after all. I think he just described a central aspect of Capaldi's Doctor. Right? I think that's pretty fair. See, this is a major article. Okay, fine. This is nice they're doing it. Don't get me wrong. Blink won Moffat 2 BAFTAs for Best Writer. 2 BAFTAs for Best Writer. How did he get 2 BAFTAs? That's weird. As well as a Hugo Award, totally deserved. It was voted the second best story of all time in the Doctor Who magazine, beaten only by Peter David's swan song, The Caves of Androzani. Oh, well, yeah. What would I rather watch, Blink or The Caves of Androzani? Caves of Androzani. Okay, I'm sorry. Love Caves of Androzani. Plus, you have that regeneration scene where Nicola Bryant jiggles forward as Colin Baker sits up. I didn't really notice Colin Baker's face. He was like, "Change, my dear." Not a moment. I was like, "Shut up! Go back to Nicola. What's wrong with it?" But what can you do? In fact, yeah, I got a couple on my shelf here. I got a Nicola Bryant Caves of Androzani variant action figure. The Caves of Androzani and secured Moffat's status as the franchise's future. Yes, he took over as lead writer 2 years later. Moffat has previously credited Blink as cinching him the gig, But today he wonders if that's true. Russell insists it was the empty child, the 2005 episode set during the Blitz, that got the job, the showrunner job. Well, it was actually the empty child, Dr. Dancers, that gave Christopher Eccleston insight into what the character was. Like, in interviews since, he said, I didn't really know what I was doing until we got to Dr. Dancer, and I was like, oh, this is the character, right? And Moffat really wonderfully describes the character. I really recommend checking out any interview. My favorite one is on the Blu-rays, the season 10 Blu-ray, I think. It's a Pertwee Blu-ray set, where it's him and Mark Gatiss talking about Pertwee's Doctor. And boy, does he understand it, right? And I love the way he talks about the contradictions. Like he's, he's a pacifist who always works with the army. He's egalitarian, but very much in charge. He's anti-sexist, but can you go and make a cup of tea? You know, it's like there's always wonderful contradictions. That is the Doctor, right? Which is why I think Jodie Whittaker's Doctor has failed so badly. There's no contradiction with her. She plays her as a doofus, right? An idiot who has no idea what's going on. And that's it, right? The only thing that don't make sense is when she acts like she's not a doofus. I'm like, I've seen every episode with you in, right? You haven't not been a doofus at all, right? At all in your entire run. You haven't. It's not that you haven't had a Doctor moment, the I am the Doctor moment. You've never had like a believable moment. It's been a bit turgid, I would say. Got the job. Very flattering. He says, as I wrote that, it was always going to be me. His own personal favorite episode, Moffat last. Julie Gardner, executive producer, the past and future executive producer, said it's by far the best I've done. While I accept the compliment, I went away thinking, but it hasn't really got Doctor Who in it. The conceit of putting it in the DVD extras, which is something that was so unique to that time of 2007, right? That pre-Blu-ray, that DVD age, where the extras were a thing. You bought the Blu-ray, and it's a thing that's basically gone now with physical media going away. But it fit so well, right? I went away thinking it really hasn't got the Doctor in it, and I'm such a fanboy that I'm still slightly thinking that it's not the proper one with the Daleks and shouting, right? I feel that way about the Christmas Invasion, right? I was very disappointed with the Christmas Invasion because we didn't see the Doctor for most of it. I mean, I like the attacking Christmas tree. That was cool. I love seeing a bit of Jackie, but we hardly saw the Doctor. And when I did see him, I didn't really like him that much. It took me a good season to get used to him. Probably because of this episode more than anything else. But one of my happiest moments, but it's one of the happiest moments in my life of how well it went down. It's among the very short list of scripts that I've written my whole career. I think I nailed it. Yes, I absolutely agree with you. You completely did nail it. Either way, he's thrilled to have created classic monsters that are popping up in Doctor Who 15 years later. Have you ever wondered why we've never seen the Slitheen again? Like, they were great monsters. They were really... I mean, I guess Weeping Angels are really cheaper to produce than Slitheen, right? But they were absolutely great monsters. And it's bizarre to me we never saw them again. And again, I love going back and watching that 2005 season now. Because, just in 2005 when I watched, like, Robots of Death or whatever, it was from a different age, right? And so it was produced differently. It had like different aesthetics, right? Now we were like, 15, 20 years later, it's the same thing, right? It's like looking at vintage TV. So it's really kind of like different from where we are today, and I think somewhat superior. Bring back the Slitheen. I'm like, Russell, can we have the Slitheen for the 60th? Okay, you're giving us Meet the Beep. How about a bit of Slitheen as well? I think we'd all be happy with that. And I love like the Slitheen baby face. This whole era is just so joyous, right? It's so optimistic. To watch it is optimistic. It's not talking about the subject matter, because you can feel the energy of joy running through every freaking episode of this, right? And even though they had some clunkers, they're still glorious to behold. I mean, I think one of the weakest ones was probably that Mark Gatiss one, right? Not that he starred in as the old bloke who got young. But even that, it's just like, it was a happy time in Doctor Who. And it's like so different from where we are now. Now, I was really hoping, like now Jodie Whittaker is getting towards the rear view mirror. The toxic fandom is really going to go die down. It hasn't, right? I mean, it has to somewhat, but boy, if you go even one step outside the orthodox, then ask a question you're not supposed to ask, right? I get dog pounded when I did a video called "Is it racist to think Doctor Who is an intrinsically Caucasian character?" Personally, I don't think so. I mean, I don't think it's racist to think that. Well, I think it could be racist, but it depends. You got to ask the person. But I don't think the character is intrinsically Caucasian. But I don't think the people who think that are hate black people, right? Which is well the point of the video. But boy, you step one step outside the prescribed thought pattern, they're like, "Oh, you hate me!" Like, what the hell's wrong with you? Like what? Why not just not assume you know everything? But again, I think that's the malaise of the era we're in. So it's either way, he's thrilled to have created a classic monster still putting up 15 years later. It's one of my favorite things, Miles Moffat, and quite rightly so, right? Quite rightly so. It's hard to come up with a monster that can last. Think of all the hundreds of maybe thousands Doctor Who stories out there, and how relatively few monsters made it to the top shelf. I'm immodest enough to think that on the top shelf, just below the Daleks and the Cybermen, are the Weeping Angels. I tend to agree. I'm rather proud of that. I do tend to agree, right? Gordon is equally happy looking back, and I'm enormously proud. I didn't know the input he had, right? Like how he basically did painted people. That's very clever. I'm enormously proud of what we achieved, especially considering it was a tight turnaround, which always makes it better. Always makes it better. I relish the fact that Weeping Angels scare the audience, and they did it so simply as well. We want audiences hiding behind the sofa. I mean, the ultimate expression of taking something commonplace and making it scary. Amy's crack. Ooh, I don't find that scary at all. I've been talking about the crack in the wall. I'm talking about the crack in the wall. I nearly remembered her name again. It just came out. Gina Adjaman. No, that's the other one. The name. Now just Martha going from head. As I start hit the end record button, I'm gonna go. Oh, of course. We want viewers hiding behind the sofa. That's where everybody should do. That's where everybody should be to properly enjoy Doctor Who. Yes, it's supposed to be safe and scary at the same time, right? It's supposed to scare you, but I think we're living in a day and age where people are scared of being scared. People are scared of scaring children. But if you want, they're not scared of taking them to a drag show. That's weird. That's just the weird world we live in. So I didn't know why they wrote this article going in. I've read the article, and I still don't know why they wrote the article. I think they're just excited for Doctor Who coming back, right? I think they're excited for Doctor Who not being an obligation to support, but actually be saying that's enjoyable. So that'd be fantastic. And I just hope that's where we're going, right? I hope that's where we're going. I don't know. I'm optimistic. Listen, I on my live stream last night, I saw footage of what we assume are the Wraith Warriors, the people who are against Meet the Bleep, walking down the street firing. They look so good. They look so freaking good. I can't wait. I absolutely can't wait. I think this is going to be awesome. My name is Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.